Hey YouTube, I decided to do another video. This one is about my Mossberg 817. I had bought it about 2 to 3 months ago as it was part of a Christmas present. I haven't really seen very many reviews on it, so I decided to go ahead and make one. I paid $250. It came with one magazine. Yeah, they're about 14 bucks a piece. Hold 5 rounds. Not really too thrilled about that. I wish it would had come with two magazines. I had to buy the scope ring and the scope. This is a Simmons 3 by 9 by 30 millimeter scope. It was on sale at the time, so I went ahead and just picked it up, and it just fits my gun perfectly. A couple things that I've noticed, and I'm going to point them out so that way you can make a judgment call. Now, I have shot the Savage 17 HMR, and I really loved it. It was the first 17 I ever shot in my life, and honestly, it's a 17 HMR is basically a .17 bullet on a 22 mag. Basically, it's just a neck down 22. Ballistics wise, if I'm not mistaken, just by knowing that you're neck down a 22 mag, you're probably going to, if you shoot, squirrels or rabbits, that's fine. But if you shoot somewhat of a larger game, let's just say coyote or something down that lines, the bullet is going to either it's going to explode on impact, or it's going to tumble, just like the 5.56. That's what makes it so deadly. A couple things about this. It says it has a bull barrel on it. I'm not too impressed by it. I mean, not really my idea of a bull barrel. Also, it's a synthetic stock. However, whenever I took this gun apart, which I will do here in just a minute, I noticed that the whole inside of the stock here is basically hollow. It's just a molded, a blown plastic mold is what they use. So basically, they just injected the plastic, blew it, shot air in it, and it formed the stock. So what I'm thinking about doing is I'm thinking about taking like some expanding foam or something down that lines and filling the inside of it up just to give it a little bit more, what am I thinking of, where it'd be a little more stouter and maybe, a little bit more durable. Also on the stock in stock up at the front, the forearm, it's kind of crappy. I'm not going to lie to you. It is, and I'll show you here in a minute. I noticed that it had I guess that's a Weaver rail on it on the front where you can mount a bipod. But whenever I was looking at it to see if the barrel free floated, I noticed that the fore-end twists, like really easy twists, like when you grab it, it'll bend or flex. Then that's not good if you're trying to go for a free floating barrel, especially if you're going to add a bipod to it. So I'm going to take and probably later on, I'm going to get some epoxy or JB Weld, which is really the same thing. I really like JB Weld and using my guns. I'm going to fill it in and try to do the best I can, maybe stouten this fore end up so that way it reduces the flexing. Now, if you'll give me just 1 second. Now on the bolt here, it's a very simple setup on the bolt. I mean, you can honestly see how simple it is. But the problem is I do not know how they dismantle it. Disassembly. I'm almost certain that there's some way you got to take this out, or maybe line something up. I was looking on the schematics page, and it said that some of these parts has to be ordered through a gunsmith. So I'm thinking that they're still trying to hold on to this design. I'm not sure why. It's a fairly easy bolt and firing system, so I don't see why they're like really crimping down on it. It still has some grease in there. I'm not for sure if it's like a Cosmoline or what, but I really wish I could figure out how to dismantle it, disassemble it, and go from there. I do not like it. Well, let me pause this. I'm going to take the scope off and take the barrel off the stock, and I will go into further detail. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So as you can see there, I mean, you can tell that there's some holes, and here's the forend. This is what the forend looks like. So as you can tell, it's really a blown mold, and the problem I see is I hate that there is like really big, empty space in here. So I'm going to see about maybe doing some JB weld, or I may looking at how deep this is, I may do epoxy, buying that $5 epoxy stuff and just mixing it and pouring it in and going from there. And I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but let's see. You can see how it twists. And that's not good, especially if you're holding it the winter time or the summertime and it twists. It disappoints me. Anyway, we're going to be moving on to the barrel and trigger assembly. Here's the bull barrel, is what they claim is a bull barrel. And as you can see, the crowning. I don't know about the crowning, guys. There's a lot more people there's people out there who are more into gunsmithing and stuff like that about the crowning. What do you think? I mean, honestly, what do you think of the crowning on it? Is it, for 17, is it suitable or is it not? Now on to the action and trigger assembly. The whole trigger assembly looks plastic. It pretty much is. Here's your trigger, and then it looks like your sear is plastic. Oh, and also I wanted to tell you that there is no iron sights on this, or open sights. And then also here, right down here is your magazine release. You got to push it forward. I thought that Mossberg would put a little bit more thought into making this. I'm not sure why they did, but given the fact of this overall of this gun, I haven't shot it yet. I'm hoping to shoot it here at the first year, whenever I get a chance, or go to the gun range. I'm really hoping, guys, that I can go and shoot this, and this is going to be above my expectations right now. I mean, granted, I'm not saying I got screwed on the gun. I mean, it's $200, and a lot of this stuff that I pointed out can be fixed, like the stock. Like I can get stock, filling it in with epoxy. I'm not worried about the iron sights on it because I've got a scope and all that, and I've got it set up. The one thing that bothers me the most, though, is the trigger assembly. It feels like it's plastic, and there's really no way to tear into it. Unless you are a certified gunsmith, to really tear into it and kind of polish everything down and make sure everything's working properly. Anyway, this is my fair review. Overall, out of I'd have to say out of scale out of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 6. I may add or subtract given if I shoot it, if and whenever I go shoot it, if it shoots straight, if it shoots dead on, or if it shoots, poor at, over 150, either over or at 150 yards. That's really what I'm shooting at. If it can shoot around that area, that's average. But if he can go out to, 175 to 200 yards, that would be great. Sorry about my dogs. They're playing. Let me shut the door. So anyway, leave any comments, questions, ideas, just about anything if you have it about this gun. I've only seen maybe a handful of reviews on it. A lot of people just compare the 17 to the 22 mag, but I'm doing one on the gun itself. As for the 17 HMR, as ammunition, it's cheap. It's not, I wouldn't say it's cheap, not dirt cheap like 20 liter 22 long rifle or your 22 shorts, but it's a different, I guess it's just a different option for you, especially if you're shooting small game or pest or, you know, just plinking or something down that lines. It's not a bad gun. The 17 isn't, but I will let y'all know later on if it's worth it or not. But as it stands right now, I'm leaning on a 5. It's right on the average. I got to see how it shoots. Anyway, talk to y'all later. Bye.